Americans will be able to legally publish and download online blueprints for 3D printed guns at midnight after Donald Trump's administration settled a lawsuit. U.S. states are set for a legal showdown with the Trump administration in a last-ditch effort to block the public from being able to download the manuals. Facing mounting pressure, the president says he's looking into the issue of the plastic guns being sold to the public because it doesn't seem to make much sense. Blueprints for guns, including an AR-15-style rifle, a version of the weapon used in a number of mass shootings, are set to go online Wednesday after the government reached a settlement with a company run by a self-declared anarchist. Cody Wilson holds a 3D printed handgun called the Liberator. The settlement means Cody Wilson, owner of Texas-based Defense Distributed, will be allowed to legally publish the designs, which would be accessible to people around the world, including the UK. Earlier this month, he posted a photo online showing a headstone reading, "American Gun Control." The legal case began after Wilson, 30, posted designs for a 3D printed handgun called the Liberator, made from the same plastic material as Lego bricks, in 2013. Wilson is fighting 21 states' bid for a temporary restraining order. Trump tweeted on Tuesday, "I am looking into 3D plastic guns being sold to the public. Already spoke to NRA, doesn't seem to make much sense." 21 states have said that they will seek a temporary restraining order in a federal court in Seattle, Washington on Tuesday to stop people from getting their hands on the manuals. Wilson tweeted, "We will fight a Trojan later today. A plastic handgun is made in a 3D printer." Image Science Photo Library RF. The U.S. State Department had previously banned the blueprints as a national security risk and a violation of international arms trafficking regulations. As recently as April, the government in court filings argued downloadable guns would allow extremist groups and criminals abroad unfettered access to arms. Opponents have claimed that the blueprints would create a dangerous free-for-all, giving criminals and terrorists easy access to guns with untraceable parts that could be printed at home for just a few $100s, or obtained without background checks. The opponents include actress Alyssa Milano, who wrote an opinion piece for CNN calling the firearms downloadable death. She wrote, "Due to a settlement between the State Department and Defense Distributed, a Texas-based designer of 3D guns, felons, domestic abusers, terrorists, those adjudicate too mentally ill to own guns, and any other person unable to legally purchase firearms will be able to print one at home." Actress Alyssa Milano has spoken out against 3D printed guns. Image AFP. Depending on the printer, they can be untraceable and plastic, or they can be metal. People will be able to make anything from novelty guns to AR-15s. And we will never know until it is too late, but gun rights advocates have been largely dismissive, claiming fears about 3D printed guns are overblown because the technology is expensive and the guns unreliable. They also say such guns are still subject to federal laws, such as a requirement that all guns contain metal parts, and state laws that require serial numbers. The ban is in place until Wednesday, but more than 1,000 people have already downloaded blueprints for a DIY AR-15-style semi-automatic assault rifle in recent days, according to Pennsylvania authorities. Related video, world's first 3D printed gun in action in 2013. State Attorney General Josh Shapiro claims Defense Distributed made the plans available at the weekend, days ahead of schedule. Josh Blackman, a lawyer for Defense Distributed, confirmed CNN that more than 1,000 AR-15 blueprints have been downloaded, but declined to comment on the claim that they were only downloaded since Friday. The attorney, who challenged Pennsylvania's attempt to block the downloads, added, "This is a free speech case. This isn't a gun case. One state cannot censor the speech of a citizen in another state. Pennsylvania has reached an agreement with Defense Distributed to make its firearms plans inaccessible to users in that state for a few days, but it still plans to sue the Trump administration. Opponents claim 3D printed guns could easily fall into the wrong hands. Image Internet unknown. Defense Distributed had challenged an earlier government ban as a violation of its First and Second Amendment rights to free speech and to bear arms. Its files include the blueprints for the AR-15 style rifle, a version of a weapon that has been used in many U.S. mass shootings, as well as other firearms. The dispute began when the State Department had told Wilson to take down plans for the Liberator handgun, saying they violated international arms trafficking regulations. Wilson took down the plans, but said the files had been downloaded 1 million times, and he sued the U.S. government in 2015. After a settlement was reached in June, Defense Distributed said it would release plans for 3D printed guns by August. 1. The State Department said that the decision to settle the case was made in the interests of the security and foreign policy of the U.S. and in consultation with the Justice Department. It also agreed to pay Defense Distributed's legal fees of nearly $40,000, £30,000. But the Trump administration had failed to adequately explain why it settled the case and allowed the publication of the blueprints, said Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson. He said, "Our Congress has carefully crafted laws to protect us and, in one moment, without any consultation with experts, the administration undoes it." He argued that the government violated federal law by failing to study the impact of its decision and failing to consult with other agencies before settling. He claims the settlement violated states' rights to regulate firearms.